why do we still have the issues that we have?
If you're going to break the law, you need to learn it.
Drop the mic.
You're welcome, Mayor Williams.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I can't wait to see the show.
Hey guys, welcome to According to Michelle with Michelle Taylor Willis. And we are officially in season 3, and we're also officially in 2021. So you should give yourself a huge round of applause. If you made it through 2020 and you are standing and breathing, yay, you did it. So the only way that we're gonna make it through 2021 is with one word. And this is gonna be the focus for season 3, focus. If you've made it this far, that means you've got something huge to do in 2021. But the only way that you can do it is if you're focused. Why is being focused important? Because focus basically means not only do you see the vision, but you know what the vision is, you know what you're playing for, and you don't deviate from it. That's focus. And the greats, the best at who they are, know the understanding of focus. They know what it means to be focused. And they also have people around them that keep them focused on the prize. So as we move through the season, we'll talk about how to stay focused, what that looks like, and how I can help you remain focused. But I'm very focused on my guest that I got sitting over here. I'm really excited for you guys to meet him. He is the co-founder of the Trap Music Museum here in Atlanta, and he's also the CEO of Nbmbaa Creative. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce you guys to William Bam Sparks. See what he did there? Yay! Hey, Bam.
Hey, how you doing?
Do I have to be like official and call you William, or can I call you Bam?
You can call me Bam.
I can call you Bam?
Yeah.
Bam works? He's like, please, no, call me Bam. It's like when I meet Barack Obama and he's like, no, Michelle, call me Barack. It's fine.
Yes.
I just compared you to Barack Obama.
People do that all the time.
There he is. All right, so talk to us about Bam Meet. First of all, I want you to tell people where the name Bam came from, because I love that name.
My nickname or Bam Creative?
Actually, both.
My nickname Bam came from me just being strong as a child, picking up stuff, slamming it around.
Literally like Bam Bam.
Exactly. And Bam Creative, it actually stands for branding, advertising, and marketing. So it's a play on, the name.
So branding and strategy is kind of your thing, right? How did you get there from like beating everybody up when you were a kid to, branding and strategy?
Actually, it just came from me working with Tip and working with different athletes. I was actually in school for chemical engineering, and he called me to work his agency. And from there, I aligned with different brands like Nike, Adidas, just doing sports contracts, shoe contracts. And then from there, I ended up working with him full time on branding.
So let's just back up, because you said it like, just working and Tip called me and blah, blah, blah. So for those of us who don't know who Tip is, do you want to let everybody know who Tip is?
Tip T.I. Harris.
T.I., the one and only, right?
Yeah. We're both from the same neighborhood. My cousin is his best friend, also his manager. And we had mutual friends that ended up playing professional football that played ball with me. And from there, he's like, listen, I need you to manage them, do marketing, strategy, and the whole nine. And from there, I just learned to develop in that industry because, like I said, I had no background in it.
Right, so that's interesting because there are a lot of people who are doing the complete opposite of what they end up doing, right? You're in school for chemical engineering at Georgia Tech, one of the best schools in the nation. And Tip saw something in you that made him reach out to you. What do you think he saw in you for somebody that didn't necessarily have the background in that?
Well, it's all about relationships. That's probably my biggest asset. I have a lot of friendships, a lot of people that I can just call on the phone right now. Calvin Johnson is one of my close friends. Derek Morgan played for the Tennessee Titans. Like, all these guys were at Georgia Tech at the time. Tashard Choice, who's now the running back coach there. Like, these are all friends of mine. And he was like, listen, you're there, you're around these guys. You should, manage them and help them out with their career. So one of my other best friends just so happened to be an agent at the time, and I learned the game. I just, hit the ground running.
So you completely pivoted. I won't even say pivoted. You actually got off the highway, right? And left chemical engineering and went into sports management and marketing and all of these things. What was that transition like? Was the learning curve crazy?
Super crazy. How old was I? Might have been 22, 23 years old.
Wow.
So to go from being in college to now on the road with Tip, traveling, going to games at Oklahoma, going to all the Georgia Tech games, just traveling with different players, going to Indianapolis for the combine, meeting different agents, meeting different companies. It was just a totally different world. And to be that young, heading a division like that for Tip was very challenging.
So it's interesting because a lot of athletes, as we know, that, come from meager backgrounds, right? And they end up in positions where they're making millions and millions of dollars a year. You were a young guy that was in school and then went surrounded really by celebrities, right? Athletes, entertainers, and all that. What was that like, going from, just being literally in the center of everything amazing?
It wasn't really different. Where I'm from, we treat each other the same no matter who you are. I have friends, like I said, I grew up with Ahmad Carroll, who ended up being the first round. Well, he was the 25th pick of the first round. He went to the Green Bay Packers, and I've been knowing him since we were 5, 6 years old. Never treated me any different. Tip grew up 2 doors down from my uncle's house. Like, these are people that I had been around most of my life. So when I'm in a room and Jay-Z walks in or Puff or whoever, it's just, they're normal people.
Right.
To me, I look at my mom and my dad, I think they're the biggest celebrities I've ever been around.
Yeah.
They have more personality than you can imagine. So if I can handle them, I can handle anybody.
Wow. That's a statement. If you can handle your mom and dad, folks, you heard it here first. If you can handle your mom and your dad, certainly T.I. or Jay-Z would be no problem for you, right?
Yeah, seriously, you got to meet my parents.
So you must be very close to your parents.
Yes.
Sounds like it. What'd you get from them? What's the biggest learning from your parents, you think, that's helped you now in your current space?
Just be yourself. And I think my entrepreneurship came from my dad. Like, he's had his own business my whole life. He was doing construction, I think, in the early 80s. And he learned that from my grandparents and my great-grandparents. My great-grandfather was the first black brick mason in the state of Georgia. He was one of the people that helped build Morris Brown, Morehouse, Spelman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so coming from that lineage and just seeing what was going on, like, they've always been serial entrepreneurs. So learning that from my parents and their hustle, it's just embedded in me.
So it's interesting because you're a living embodiment, basically, of legacy and Black legacy, right? And passing down these amazing traits from generation to generation. I know that Black innovation, Black business, Black community is a very fundamental tenet of how you live and how you move.
Yes.
What do you think we're doing right in that sense? And where do you think we need to get better?
As far as doing it right, I think Atlanta is leading the charge. Sticking together, Black businesses, pretty much collaborating, helping rebuild the West Side. One of the projects I'm working on now is in Overtown, actually, in Miami. And the whole reason why I was there is because I met some guys that started a business 10 years ago in Harlem. And they're like, listen, we want to bring this and bring back this rich culture in Miami and continue making it the Harlem of the South. So, I mean, there's a lot of stories that go back between, or that correlate between Atlanta, Miami, Charlotte, just certain cities to where Black people weren't allowed to do certain things and move how they wanted to. So for us to now be successful and have these different businesses, if we all collaborate and unify in areas where they want to gentrify, and bring, other cultures in, if we're able to stick together and build up, I think it's all worth it. The Urban is another company that I partner with down there, and they're doing amazing things as far as bringing entertainment back to Overtown, which is why they wanted us to put our little trap house there, because it's almost turned into a Black entertainment district. And we want to do something similar on the west side on Travis Street.
So it sounds like, listening to you, it seems like one of the things we get right, or we're getting right now, especially in Atlanta, is banding together, right?
Yes.
Working together, figuring out what those strategic partnerships are.
Exactly.
And I know relationships are really important to you, right? It sounds, I mean, you've been building relationships since you were 2, right?
Essentially.
So what do you think we're missing in terms of leveraging relationships? Because a lot of people have relationships, but leveraging them and using them to be mutually beneficial is a whole another thing.
We have to leverage our relationships and maintain our property and our land. I was just telling my dad, like, he wants to move out, move to a different side of town, but he's been there. Actually, it was my grandfather's house first in like the 60s.
Wow.
Yeah, so a lot of people are moving out near Collier and Bolton Road. And ever since they made the announcement of Microsoft, the property values are going up. But I'm telling him, you need to stick around and you need to tell your neighbors. Matter of fact, leverage your relationships and you go in and say, well, listen, before you leave, let me come in and, you know, not necessarily purchase it, but help you keep this land. Like, what are you going through that makes you want to leave? Or when someone passes away, somebody sold my great grandfather's house, and I went and I told him, like, why do we do that? Because now MARTA is doing the $5 million expansion right next to it, and the property value went from $100,000 to $250,000.
Right.
Just like that.
Right.
And the way we could build generational wealth is if we stay down and own our own land.
Right.
Like our white counterparts have done.
Yeah, but I love what you said, right? Because it's this generational wealth building opportunity, especially as it comes or as it relates to land.
Yes.
And there are very few now instances where we actually have that land that has made it 3, 4, 5 generations down to us, right? But so I love the fact that that is something that sounds like your family has been very intentional about in making sure that property stays in your family.
You have to.
How did you start learning that real estate was a path to generational wealth?
Once again, just learning on the field, being involved in projects with TIP where we're purchasing properties, even like the Trap Music Museum, we were looking at studio space. And to go in and evaluate it and see where we were, what's going on, leveraging relationships and then capitalizing on other properties. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, I'm starting to learn you can do this here. What's going on with this vacant building? What's the property? Like, I really learned on the ground, like no school.
OJT? That's the best kind of training there is, right?
Yes, yeah.
Listen, with all the people in the music industry, you know, I can't believe you're not rapping.
No.
You never did. Like, I feel like if I go back I might be able to find a little bit of something that you did way back.
Everybody freestyled in school, but I was producing for a while. I was in a band from the 5th grade all the way to 10th grade, and I had a program on my computer. I forgot what it was called. Fruity Loops.
Fruity Loops?
Yes.
Wow.
Fruity Loops, and this is 2001 maybe.
Yeah.
And I started, doing my own production, trying to figure it out.
Fruity Loops.
Fruity Loops.
All right, I want you to hold that thought. We have to take a quick break, but speaking of Fruity Loops, which I'm never gonna let you live that down ever. I know you've got a favorite rapper in there somewhere. So when we come back from break, I'm gonna ask you guys now, who do you think is BAM's favorite rapper? Is it Jay-Z, Gucci Mane, or J. Cole? Don't answer. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're gonna get that answer as well as learn a whole lot more about BAM and this Trap Music Museum you speak of. Guys, we'll be right back with more According to Michelle.
The power of connection. There are multiple roads to success. Each business or entrepreneur charts their own course. Maybe you had a great mentor that specifically guided you.
I just need help.
Or a connection with a banking officer that showed you beneficial programs you didn't know existed. The South Fulton Chamber of Commerce is your connector to everything you and your business need.
Hey guys, welcome back to According to Michelle. And when we left, we were on the verge of finding out who your favorite rapper was. And I believe the guess or the choices were Gucci Mane, J. Cole, and Jay-Z. So, who is it? Wait, drum roll, please. You gotta do the drum roll.
Oh, you want me to drum roll? Okay.
Yeah. No, with your tongue.
I can't do it.
I can't either. That's the whole point. Okay, who is it?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Yes.
He is quite prolific, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Jay-Z is what I would like to call the Tom Brady of rap.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Growing up, actually, my favorite rapper was Andre 3000 because, you know, he's from the South, he's from Atlanta. But over time, what Jay-Z has done in the industry and for the culture, it's not comparable to anybody.
So talk to me about that, because a lot of the things that you're talking about now, we've seen kind of manifest in a lot of Jay-Z's lyrics, right? Real estate, Black wealth, community, building up Black community. Do you think that there might have been some subconscious, you know, stuff going on there? Because that's a lot about what you talk about and stand for.
Never even thought about it. That's crazy. Yeah, he most definitely raps about uplifting our community and investing in art. Now I have a whole art curation system. That's crazy. Yeah, I never even thought about it like that.
See that connection? This is what I do. I make connections for people. You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
So speaking of community, let's talk about the Trap Music Museum, because you're co-founder of that with T.I.
Yes.
How did you guys decide that this is something that you were going to put in the community?
I mean, it was location, timing, everything was just perfect. We went and looked at the space in May 2018. Like I said, he was looking to build a studio, co-working space, something for writers to come in and do a writer's camp. And when we looked at it, it was like, no, this is actually perfect for our Escape the Trap concept, which we were pitching for, say, 5 or 6 years.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Escape it for 5 or 6 years.
Yep. Escape the Trap, which is a trap-themed escape room.
Which is actually in the Trap Music Museum, huh?
Yes.
So you went from taking kind of what was supposed to be the entire concept to it just being a piece of a whole different concept.
Yes, because at the time there was this huge debate about who founded, trap music.
So who did found trap music? Because,
Tip.
there's some debate.
Tip most definitely found it. Trap has been around, or the term has been around forever. It's an Atlanta slang. So I want to say the first person I ever heard say trap in the song was Kilo back in the 90s. I know the Good and Mob guys used to say it all the time, but Tip came out with a song called Dope Boys in the Trap in 2001. Mm-hmm. And that was on his I'm Serious album, his first album. His second album was Trap Music in 2003. And that's when trap music, the sub-genre, was created.
Got you. So speaking of the Trap Music Museum, we're going to go and take a little sneak peek around there, and you're going to show us all kinds of cool stuff, right?
Yes.
We're going to take you inside the Trap Music Museum so you can see what it actually is about. And then we'll come right back here with more bam, 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 bam. We'll be right back. Hello. Hey, how are you? I'm COVID negative. You're COVID negative. We're good, right?
Yeah. Do I need to put my mask on? Just like,
how are you?
What's up?
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
What's up? This is Welcome to the Humble Abode, right?
Yes. You finally made it.
This place is incredible.
Yeah, it took us a minute to put it together. We purchased the space back in May 2018. Uh-huh. Opened October 4th, 2018.
Okay.
It was around the same time we wanted to launch Tip's album, The Dime Trap. The whole premise behind his exhibit is we wanted to tell a story about or recreate what happened when he was arrested in 2007. When the feds busted into his estate and he had the closet full of guns and whatever.
So tell us about that for our viewers who might not know what that story is.
Can't remember exactly what award show was going on, but The feds came in, they arrested him, and at the same time, another unit went into his house, searched the house, couldn't find anything, and they magically found a secret compartment, which was a safe. Essentially, he kept the guns away because he has children. So,
Sure.
yeah, and this is kind of sort of what it would have looked like. We might have added a few things here and there.
Right. To creative liberties a little, maybe.
Exactly, exactly. So you actually have pieces that he's worn before, like he wore this during the BET Awards when he did the Us Else performance. You have some of his actual sneakers, some stuff from his clothing line, a cool Hustle Gang, and we have the Illy handwritten lyrics, which makes this thing so special because you won't see anything like this. Tip rarely writes everything out. He raps off the top of his head. Mm-hmm. So around that time, as you can see, it's 2008, he was transitioning to the halfway house and he couldn't get in the studio like he wanted to. So he actually had to write out the album, hence why it's called Paper Trail. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
So tell me about the inspiration behind this museum.
Part of the inspiration is, what you're seeing right here is this timeline. It tells you when trap music was created. There was a huge debate, and we wanted to, just talk about different facts of what happened and what transpired in music in the early 2000s. So we wanted to just create this older feel, this nostalgia, like I was saying. And actually, the main entrance here is the corner store, which it kind of transitioned, like I said, to the grandma's living room. Mm-hmm. Then to the museum, so people are not expecting what's going to happen. Yeah,
you guys were very thoughtful in your approach of putting this together. You didn't just throw it up. This is a business. This is a real business.
Yes. I mean, initially we were thinking pop up, but the more and more we got involved, I was like, this thing might have some longevity. I can see some legs on this, and
I see legs every time I pass by here, like millions of them wrapped around the building.
Yes, we've had a lot of traffic. So this is probably my favorite piece in the museum.
Yeah.
And it's probably the most expensive piece in the museum. So if you come, put your feet right on the footprint there. All right, what do you see?
Trap.
Okay. Letter as well. So you stand in this one. Look forward. What do you see?
Oh wow, music.
That's awesome, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're gonna end over here at one of my favorite exhibits, which was donated to us by 2 Chainz. This is the Pink Car. It's from Pretty Girls Love Trap Music. I don't know if you remember when he actually had the pink house.
I do.
Yeah.
And I was wondering what happened to the house.
He only did it for the album. It was a pop-up. And a lot of people actually confused what he did with what we're doing.
Right. I thought that there was a...
No, there was no correlation.
Okay.
He just donated the car because it was sitting in the back of the studio with trees growing out of it.
It's crazy. This whole, this idea really is kind of taking on a life of its own.
Exactly. From the actors to the cars to the artwork, yes.
Everything. Well, I guess Tip does it again, huh? Or T.I., which one is it? Does it really matter at this point?
We typically say Tip T.I. Harris to make him, feel better.
The whole thing? That's like me saying Michelle Taylor Willis. Okay, fair enough. Tip T.I. Harris does it again. All right, thanks for having us in. We're going to go back into the studio. Guys, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Whew, I'm tired. I feel like I can write a trap music lyric now.
Give me one.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay. My team is like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. I will do it. Okay, you ready? Can you give me a beat?
Want to take it back old school?
Yeah, okay. Sitting in my kitchen, cooking pies, looking at my boy, and he's wondering why. All I do is want to trap, never want to eat meat, because I don't like it, because it's not clean. I started off so good, didn't I? I started off really well. Did you think I was going somewhere with it?
I really did.
And then it just fell so flat. But the point is, I tried. Sometimes you got to take a risk. How could anybody tell me no if I don't ask?
You have to take a risk.
Would you give me a record deal based off of that? Just the potential.
Yes, it's a lot of potential.
You would absolutely say, like, try again.
No, I would just get you a writer. That's okay. It's all right.
I've got gumption. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters. That's the biggest part.
That is. And so to this point, right? I mean, taking a risk, doing something like this is a totally different concept anywhere in the nation. It would be different. But to take something like this, build around music, and it's kind of like its own version of a Grammy Music Museum or something like that, right? I mean, that was a risk on its own.
Huge risk. We went out. None of us have ever done a museum before.
Yeah, who has?
And for us to have this amount of success, I think before COVID, we were getting maybe 6,000 visitors a weekend, and that was just on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Post-COVID, maybe like 4,500.
Really?
Thursday through Sunday, yeah. I mean, and it's a team effort.
Right.
You know, of course, you know, Tip, myself, Doug, Mark, we all sat down and came up with these ideas on how to make this thing immersive and bring these different experiences and teach you about the cultures, like putting it in your face and show you how we came out of, you know, those circumstances to be successful. I mean, people have really appreciated it. I mean,
yeah, people come in from all over the nation. I mean, all
over the world. I mean, Australia, London, Brazil. Trap music is worldwide. It's really worldwide. I didn't know it was as big as it was, but yeah, trap music is huge.
And you guys have had tons of celebrities flow through there. I think the day I was there, right before Dave Chappelle was like there the day before.
Yes.
I mean,
he just pulled up. Dave Chappelle and Chris Tucker, same time. Just walked in. We had maybe 1,000 people there just waiting, and he walked into the museum. No security really, just, you know, us in front of him. He's waving.
He probably kept going. He's like, "What's up, Ends? I'm here."
Yeah, all of that. Yeah, and then I want to say the week before Snoop came in.
Yeah, you guys have had amazing success, so much so to where the nation is, I mean, I know it's worldwide, but the nation itself is really taking hold of this. And now you've got the Little Trap Museum collaboration. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we activated the Little Trap House is what we
Little
call
Trap
it.
House, I'm sorry.
We activated it last year for BET, was it the BET Experience? And from there, we did a pop-up at Delicious Pizza. We had Karen Civil come host. A host of LA artists came by because we did different installations because we were in LA. So from there, we moved it back here, reconfigured it, now it's in Miami.
Well, congratulations on all of the success. I mean, you from going to, literally chemical engineering to now roaming the world with the nation's greats, whether it's entertainment or athletic, but you by yourself on your own are making quite a name just being Bam, right?
I'm trying.
Just being, no, you're not trying. We're eliminating the word try from vocabularies. No trying in 2021. We're doing it. We're doing it. And you are absolutely doing it. So thank you so much for coming on the show. You want to tell our viewers how they can find you, how they can get to the Trap Music Museum?
Sure. Trap Music Museum on Instagram, BAMBSKY, at Little Trap House on Instagram.
Wow. You know, the energy bouncing off of you is so much. I really wish you would just take it down a little bit of a notch. It's too much.
Is it?
Yes. That's a joke, because you're so, you know. But I'm so glad you're here. Don't go anywhere. We've got more According to Michelle. We'll be right back. Hey guys, what's up? It's Michelle Taylor Willis, and welcome to According to Michelle. And we are, officially into the new year, but I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and they said that they were trying to do something. And at the beginning of the year, I made a pact, and I don't think I shared it with you guys, but the pact really was between me and, God, the universe, whatever. It really was about to eliminate the word trying. No more trying. You're either going to do it or you're not. I think the world is full of people that are trying to do something. You know, you say, you're like, girl, I'm just trying to get this workout in. Or like, you know, I just tried to call you. No, you actually did call. They just didn't answer, right? Or you just didn't want to get the workout done. So as we continue to kind of move into the rest of the year, don't try to do anything. Just decide to do it or decide not to. But either way, do something. Speaking of which, I'm sitting with someone who does a lot of things that are really cool. He's standing up he means business when he sits up and his shoulders are back like this. But I'm sitting here with somebody that literally has done lots of great things, not just in Atlanta, but around the nation. And I am not going to try to introduce you to him. I'm actually going to introduce you to him. Joe Handy, the president of the National Black MBA Association. It's a lot of National MBA, I think that's what it is. Is that how I say it? No?
You're very close, Michelle.
I guess I did kind of try. I did kind of try on that one. Welcome to the According to Michelle show.
Michelle, thank you for having me. I've been a huge fan for many, many years, and I also admire all the work that you've done throughout your time focusing on South Fulton area, and congratulations on your new book, Raising Significance.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Pretty good read.
You enjoyed it?
I did. Well, thank you for not holding all your skills and knowledge hostage from the rest of the world. So it's very important that we try not to.
Try not to do that, right?
Not to do that, exactly.
So let me ask you a question. You're from New York, and I know you are a proud New Yorker.
Absolutely.
How does somebody from all the way up there end up all the way down here?
Well, it's a long, boring story, but I'm always...
You're going to try to give it to us.
Always excited to tell that story. Actually, I was working in New York at the American Museum of Natural History, and was going sort of fumbling, figuring out what my purpose was in life and what did I like to do. And while I was at the museum, I had worked in a bunch of different departments, just sort of consuming a lot of different experiences and getting different skills as I was looking to figure out what my career path was going to be. And during that journey, I was fortunate enough to work in many different departments. And at the time that I was there, about 9 years, the founder of Home Depot, Bernie Marcus, was looking to give back to the city of Atlanta and the state of Georgia for what he attributed his success. And he went on what we call a listening tour. And during that tour, he went to many different attractions, most of the attractions in the United States and many attractions abroad. And he would just pick out pieces that he thought would be relevant to bring to Atlanta to the Georgia Aquarium. And it just so happened that he wanted someone that had experience in the operations side. And we had just come up, we at the American Museum of Natural History just came off of closing the Hayden Planetarium and opening the Rose Center for Earth and Space. And I was a part of that process. And just like any other situation when you're trying to get a lot of people that have different skills in one room, it becomes difficult, like herding cats. And when Bernie Marcus wanted to understand what that process was like of closing and opening a new space, the museum said there's this one guy that had been in a bunch of different departments that you should probably talk to. And I was the person that, that they called on to explain to Mr. Marcus about all of the different experiences we had closing a facility and opening a facility. He had a laundry list of questions, and he sent another gentleman back to talk to me about all of the things that I had experienced in opening and closing the facility along with the other team. And one thing led to another. He asked me to be a part of the opening team with Georgia Aquarium. So came down to Georgia and became very fond of Atlanta, and the rest is sort of history.
Yeah. It's so funny. Excuse me, I've heard you tell that story quite a few times, right? And every time I hear it, it's still amazing to me, amazing in a great way, right? That, you know, you were just working at the museum, one of the, you know, most best museums in the nation. And, you know, the founder of Home Depot is like, that's my guy, right? I mean, like if you were an actor, it would be like that moment where you're just walking down the street and someone's like, that's him, that's my right? That's the star. Yeah. I mean, and for somebody that was, you know, born and raised, I know you know, single mom, and, you know, I mean, if you fast forward to now, I mean, I'm sure that this isn't, when you were at the museum, the trajectory, this isn't, you know, where you thought you might have ended up, but this is it's amazing. It's like so inspiring for people who are still trying to figure it out, right?
Well, thank you. I really appreciate those words. I would say that I am fortunate enough to follow a God that can make a straight line out of a crooked stick. So even though life's
Wait, hold on, who? You made a snake out of what?
No, ma'am.
Sorry.
I said I'm fortunate and blessed enough to be able to follow a God that can still make a straight line out of a crooked stick.
Got you.
In life, you have your ups and your downs. It's never really a straight line, but you can still get to where you want to be in life.
Well, I think too, though, I mean, you mentioned you didn't really know what your purpose and your passion was then. And so, I don't know, 15, 16 years later, can you say now that you know what your purpose is in life and your passion?
I would say fundamentally, I've been extremely fortunate to have strong women in my life that have poured into me and have given me sort of a foundation of how I should act and how I should treat people. And I have been grounded in that idea, and what I've come to realize is my purpose is to help others, to be a servant leader, and make sure that I'm not only putting myself in a position where I can reach forward, but also in a position where I can reach back and pull people with me. So if I would say, to answer, this is a long way of answering your question.
We got all night.
I would say that my purpose is to help and serve others.
And it's, I mean, clearly that's what you were doing when you were at the Museum of Natural History. And then when Bernie found you, he plucked you, and you opened the aquarium. And what's interesting I know about your story, I know a lot of people that you have helped. As you were building your own career, you were helping so many people in the process build theirs, find their passions, right? I mean, I've heard you speak, I've seen you speak, I've seen, heard of your empowerment, so to speak, on others. And a lot of people kind of credit their growth to you. I don't know if you know that or not, but I mean, I'm sure some of them have told you. But so I think you're right. I mean, and so many people leave Earth not knowing what they were put on the Earth to do. And you've been here, I mean, I don't know, I guess you're about 50 or 60 years old. I don't know.
Not quite.
Not quite, but close. But you've lived half your life, and you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing. How awesome is that to know what the back half of that is just going to be bigger and better than what you did on the front half?
I would say I don't have all the answers. I would say that I'm still striving to find that purpose and ensure that I'm executing on that purpose. I look at my life as a turtle on a fence, and I don't know if you've heard that term, but essentially, people see where I am, but I didn't get here by myself. Just like you see a turtle on a fence, and you know that turtle didn't get there by themselves. Sure. So I try to find purpose in helping people get to different places in life. And still aspiring and still trying to ensure that I'm living right and doing what my mother would be proud of. Right.
Well, I'm sure she's proud of the fact that you started off as Director of Visitor Services, I think, was that right? And then you made it all the way to President of the aquarium. So over the 14, 15 years that you were there, I mean, clearly, like you broke the ceiling, so to speak. I mean, it's not often that people start a place and then end up running the place. So you end up running certainly the largest aquarium in the Americas, but it's the second largest in the world. Is that right?
Yes, indeed. So largest aquarium in North America, and we were close.
Almost there, right?
Almost there.
Close but no cigar. So let's talk about your transition then to the National Black MBA Association. Did I say that? I always feel like I'm missing an A.
Listen, you're there. Listen, National Black MBA Association.
Okay. Right. All right. I won't try to shorten it. So how did you end up going from feeding fish, as you say, to now really feeding the masses, especially as it relates to Black professionals?
I would say that I do a self-audit. I almost said try.
There you go. Look at that. Do you see the impact I'm having already? It was like immediate. I'm such an influencer.
I do a self-audit of my day, ensuring that what did I accomplish, what didn't I accomplish, what if I had a few more hours in the day, what could I have accomplished? And I would say that this past year has been one where it has caused for a pause throughout the world. And it caused me to pause and think about my purpose and if I was fulfilling what was destined to do, or what I enjoyed doing, or what I was passionate in doing. So working at the aquarium has been a huge part of my history and a huge part of my narrative. And when we had to pause during this pandemic, I had to reflect. So working at the aquarium, I would I had my day job of running the organization, and what I would consider my night job was getting woven into our community. And I looked at ways where I can be impactful, looked at ways or places that my voice can be heard and I can impact our people in a positive way. So I started getting involved in a lot of non-for-profits, and I started giving my time, energy, and share my experiences, and hoping that it would help individuals or help the organizations that I was dedicating time to. So by day, running Georgia Aquarium, by night, getting woven into our community, and sort of overnight with the pandemic, the day job paused. And it gave me a lot of time to think about, where am I putting my energy? And 5 years from now, when I look back and say, where was I and what did I do, will I be proud of what I'm doing? And I had to really think about my passion and really think about where I wanted to put all of my energy. And you couple the pandemic with the horrific activities that took place in 2020 that was spotlighted with a lot of the civil unrest that occurred. And I found myself sort of this groundswell of emotion and this groundswell of passion of, this is where I need to be. And the National Black MBA Association was looking for a president and CEO, and I'm not one that believes in coincidences. Ambassador Andrew Young once told me that a coincidence is God's way of staying anonymous. And I had to really think about, there's this opportunity, and here's what I really want to do with my life. And it was this crossroads of being able to be fulfilled and making an impact. And I jumped in feet first.
Well, I know significance is a thing for you, right? Significance is a thing for me. So I know, and I know just, listening to you and watching your path, that's a big deal for you, right? You want to leave a legacy. You want them to say certain things when you leave. But the fact that you listened to God and knew that it wasn't just a coincidence, right? And you took the risk to do something different speaks volumes, not just in your belief in yourself, I think, but just in your belief in faith, right?
I would agree with you, with the exception of, what I'm looking to do is not to leave a legacy, but to leave an impact. And as I desire to be a servant leader, then my passion and is to serve others. So it's not necessarily what I'm getting, it's what I'm giving. So I don't give to get.
I think that's a great motto, right? Nobody should give to get. We should just all give. The crumbs are enough. Did you get it? The crumbs are enough?
No, I didn't get it.
I'll tell you that story later.
Okay.
So talk to me about the National Black MBA Association.
You got it.
It took a lot. Well, I wasn't trying, I was just doing it, so.
Great motto.
I do my best. So what does your organization do?
If I were to sum up the purpose of the organization, I would say is to create access, and that's in twofold. So we look at providing access to companies that are looking for Black talent, and we look to provide access to Black talent to employment opportunities. So as long as we can be in a space where we are making those connection points, then we know that that will have a positive impact on our Black community. So if we're in a position of providing education opportunity, entrepreneurship opportunities, financial literacy opportunities, and empowering through education, then we know that that has sort of this groundswell of impact in our Black community. And then we can provide that Black talent to companies that are looking for talented Black individuals. So we are connecting dots and creating access.
Got you. And almost kind of like a feeder source, right, into companies that are looking for Black talent?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay. So hold that thought because I want to talk more about that. But we do need to take a quick break. However, before we go to break, I know this guy is suited and booted and it looks like he's serious all the time, but he's not. He's tons of fun, let me tell you. All right. So we're going to find out from Joe exactly what one of his favorite things to do is. And I'm going to ask you guys, I want you to guess, see if you can figure it out. And on the backside of this break, he's going to tell us. So, is his favorite thing to do in his free time build cars, roller skate, or play basketball? All right? Build cars, roller skate, or play basketball. We're going to find out when we come back with more According to Michelle. Welcome back to According to Michelle. I'm sitting here with Joe Handy, the president of the National Black MBA Association. I got it right.
Perfect.
Yes, I'm so good at this. And when we went to break, we were trying to figure out exactly what Joe's favorite thing to do is in his spare time. So it's either build cars, roller skate, or play basketball. So, that's drum roll. Okay, drum roll. So what is it? Are you laughing at my drum roll? Listen, I can't afford sound effects, friend, so I'm just doing the best I can on a very limited budget.
There's a better drum roll out there. So to answer the question, it's build cars.
I knew it. I had a great feeling. Build cars. So listen, honestly, I wouldn't have guessed that. I mean, you don't strike me as a build car kind of guy. What kind of cars do you put together? Do you like buy old ones and take them apart and put them back?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I primarily like cars from the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
I like the lines of the cars. I like the simplicity of cars back then. I like some cars in the 80s, but they get a little complicated. But for the most part, I focus on cars from the 60s.
In a time like 2020, when a lot of people didn't see accomplishment, to be able to, I think sometimes, I know when I get frustrated, sometimes it's just like, I need to do something that I know I can do, right? When nothing else is working, you're probably like, well, let me just go put this car together. If nothing else, I know I can do that, right?
Or take it apart.
Or take it apart, whatever, yeah.
Absolutely.
So speaking of seeing value in things, it seems like now Black is a thing, right? People
Black has always been.
Well, Black has always been a thing, right? But Black is like the new Black for everybody, right? People are seeing now, it seems as though more value in Black talent, more value in Black voices, more, right?
Wait, can I stop you for
Sure.
1 second? And forgive me for interrupting.
Yeah.
But I just, other people are starting to see.
Right. That's exactly right.
Because,
thank you. Yes.
We have always, Black people have always seen the value of our creation and have always seen the accomplishments that we have made. And in many cases, those accomplishments were silenced. So it's just now that people are starting to hear us.
No, you're absolutely right. Other people are now seeing the value that we always knew was there. Mm-hmm. So to that end, how is that forwarding the movement as it relates to your efforts and the work of the National Black MBA Association?
I would say that we are at a heightened level of focus. I would say that our HBCUs are now becoming a focal point for a lot of companies and a lot of funding and a lot of investments. HBCUs have always been woven in the Black community from shows that we were very fond of. I'm dating myself, but shows like...
I told you were like 60 or 70. You shut me down. I told you that earlier, no?
No.
Now you're saying I'm right.
But I would say that our community has always looked at the talents and skills and accomplishments because we talk to our children about those accomplishments to seed that passion and to seed that pride. And what's happening now is it's a highlight on all of our accomplishments. I mean, I've always found humor in that we have a Black History Month because our history is not condensed into 28 days,
right?
29 on a leap year.
Score for us on that extra.
Our history and our impact is woven into the fabric of this city, of this country.
It's like Bobby. Did you see the did you see the video with Bobby and Whitney? And they were like, what do you think about Black History Month? And Bobby was like, why is it just a month? It might have been Whitney, but you didn't see that? You guys saw that, right? You know that. I'm breaking the fourth wall. I'm talking directly to you. Yes. But yeah, I mean, you got to check it out. You can Google it, but they were being interviewed. I think it was during Black History Month. Really? And Bobby was like, it shouldn't just be a month, right?
Well, he's right.
He is absolutely right. Bobby Brown was right about a lot of things, not just the fact that it was his prerogative, but I mean, you know, I think he had quite a few great things to say. All right, so speaking of which, we want to learn more about National Black MBA Association and what you do and what your day looks like. So we're going to take a quick break and dive into that. We're going to go and visit Joe in his house, not his like real house, like in his business house. So hang tight and we will be right back with more According to Michelle. Hey guys, I'm super excited to be here at the National Black MBA Association headquarters in downtown Atlanta. And I'm going to be visiting with my friend Joe Handy here. I'm going to see exactly what happens in this place. And I hear he's got some pretty cool art, so I can't wait to check that out. Come on, let's see what he's got. Hey Joe.
Michelle, how are
How's it
you?
going?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I think this is going to be the new thing, right?
I think it is the new
Until
thing.
COVID's over.
Maybe it'll stay to be. It won't be the new thing anymore.
Thanks for having us in.
Thank you for coming.
Kind of in the heart of downtown.
Yeah,
like-
we are located in the downtown area, easily accessible to a lot of the businesses that are in the metro Atlanta area. So we like it. This is what we call home.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to show me around your home, huh?
Absolutely.
Somebody told me you had some really cool art.
We do.
Yeah?
We do.
You have it here, not at your other home.
Both. Both. Let me show you around.
All right.
So first stop on the tour is our conference room. We have this conference room mainly for when we were pre-COVID, we're able to have
Gosh,
meetings.
this thing is huge.
Yeah.
I just realized it went all the way down there.
Yeah. So it allows for us enough space for our board members to be present and have a meeting here, and for our staff when we have our all-staff team meetings to be able to be in one space. And now we have cameras set up so that we can do virtual meetings. Once again, beautiful views of the city, which sometimes can be distracting, but sometimes in these meetings
You need to be distracted, yeah.
Yeah, yes, indeed.
I love the chairs, though. I
Yeah.
mean, this is a really nice conference room.
Thank you.
Yeah, great.
So this is the first stop on the tour.
Awesome.
Follow me.
All right.
We're going to go out here.
Yes.
Ladies first.
Thank you again.
So as we go through the office, you'll see some of the art that we have.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is a very interesting piece. And if you look at in the offices itself, there's art throughout each of the offices, whether it's hung art or whether it's a sculpture or a statue.
How did you guys decide that that Black art was going to be one of the things that you focused on in the office?
One of the things we just can, as we do in our business, we highlight the creativity and the talent of Black artists, Black workers, and just the Black community. So we want to have that represented in our office space as well.
Gotcha. It's beautiful.
So as we continue to go, you'll see that this is another area where there's a little breakout area so you can decompress, step away from your computer monitor and just kind of chill out.
I need a nap. I think I could like take one of those.
And here it is for you.
So now we go to where the magic happens.
So the war room, so to speak, and this is my office here.
Well, I'd love to talk a little bit about this art you got.
Absolutely. Have a seat.
Thanks. So, of course, I have to ask, you have the inaugural game ball from 2015. How'd you get that?
So I sit on the committee for the Celebration Bowl, which is a division championship between the MEAC and the SWAC. And in 2015, I was presented the game ball.
So one message, right? You mentioned consistency of message earlier. But if you had to get one message out to all of our viewing audience right now, what would you want them to walk away with knowing about the National Black MBA Association?
Essentially that we're here to be helpful. We're here to help our Black community find the jobs that they're looking for. We're here to help the Black community in the entrepreneurial space, and we're here to help the Black community that's elevating or matriculating through high school to be aware of National Black MBA Association, be a member with us, and allow for us to help you find your job, your dream job.
Awesome. All right, thanks for having us in. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for coming by.
Absolutely. Welcome back, guys. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did learning a little bit about you and seeing some of that great art you've got in your office. Who knew? You like art?
I do.
Yeah?
I do.
Who's your favorite artist?
So I don't have a favorite artist. I like art that just speaks to me. So it's not someone that I just follow. If I see something that is relevant and that I feel speaks to me in that moment, then that's what I gravitate towards.
So I know that the National Black MBA Association does a lot with large corporations, but I also know that there's a focus on the Black entrepreneur, right, and the small business person. What are you guys doing to create opportunities for small Black businesses?
Once again, it's a matter of creating access or providing access to small businesses and entrepreneurs and resources that I would call wraparound services. Mm-hmm. So what we want to do is, one, if there's an opportunity or if there's a capital raise, if there's venture capitalists that want to invest in Black businesses, which is really something that has resonated and that has bubbled up in recent months, or at least this past year. We want to be able to match those resources to that business owner or to that entrepreneur and ensure that they not only have the ability to start the business, but they have the ability to maintain the business.
Right.
What's very unfortunate is, I would say, a high percentage in the 90s of our Black businesses, our Black LLCs, are sole proprietors, meaning there's only one employee and it's them.
Yeah.
But what we want to do is we want to see those businesses grow. We want to ensure that those businesses have the ability and the financial literacy to keep their books and to keep their business afloat, to be able to grow that business so that they can employ more Black employees. So National Black MBA Association is sniper focused on providing those resources to small businesses and providing the tools that entrepreneurs need to start their businesses from a business acumen standpoint, from a financial standpoint, from web and from technology standpoint. We want to ensure that these businesses are built for success.
It's interesting you say that. I knew that the number was high. I didn't realize that it was 90%, right? Because a lot of times, and I think it's interesting how people, the government or corporations or the greater, community will say small business, and then they say with less than 200 employees or, doing less than $100 million a year. And I'm like, that's not a small business. That's certainly not a small Black business, right? And so there's so many more challenges, right, when you're dealing in small business, but certainly a small Black business. And the fact that you said that these solopreneurs are most of the Black businesses, it's the consultants, right, the service-based agencies. And typically, as you know, I was one of those businesses once, right? And so, you don't always feel like the resources are there to help you get from solopreneur to, that scaling, to go from 1 to 3 employees and 3 to 10 employees. So where do you think the miss is on the business owner side? What could we be doing better to
share information? Just like I mentioned earlier about your book, of not keeping what you know hostage from the rest of the world.
Right.
And we need to do that within our community. Not hold what we've learned in our growing pains and our successes and our failures hostage from others. Provide that information so that we don't have some of these new businesses make the same mistakes that we've made, so to speak.
Right. Listen, thank you so much for joining us today. Seriously, you've been a pleasure, as always. Tell people how they can find National Black MBA Association.
If you want to get engaged, and I implore you to get engaged with National Black MBA Association, I ask that you visit us at www.nbmbaa.org. Come by and see us. Thank you.
Guys, it's been awesome, of course, having you watch another episode of According to Michelle. You can find me right here on our new network, VTV, every Wednesday at 10 a.m. and again at 7 p.m. But until next time,